Good morning. We will be presenting on One Holland Village and how this redevelopment has reshaped Holland Village as a social, commercial, and lifestyle space. The key stakeholders affected by OHV are residents, workers and owners, investors and developers, the government or URA, and customers and tourists. These groups matter as they use, manage, profit from, regulate, or are directly affected by the space. Residents experience changes in their daily lives. Workers and owners depend on OHV for jobs and income. Developers and investors shape their project through capital, design, and tenant mix. The government manages redevelopment while preserving character, and customers and tourists drive footfall and spending. Starting with tourists, OHV strengthens Holland Village's appeal as a lifestyle destination and attracts more international visitors. Its integrated design makes the area more convenient to explore, but the decline of long-time independent businesses may reduce its authentic charm, making it feel less distinctive, even if increased visitor traffic still benefits nearby businesses. For customers, OHV provides a more modern retail environment with better amenities and social spaces. Although this may reduce the nostalgia and sense of belonging felt by long-term customers, it encourages dining and social activity throughout the day. Customers benefit from more shopping and dining choices, but this may also come with reduced affordability. For owners, OHV introduces more mainstream retailers, weakening the traditional indie identity. Although better walkability and public spaces attract more visitors and support leisure-oriented businesses, some older shops may still lose foot traffic, and higher rents are more easily absorbed by chain retailers. Although specialized businesses can still benefit from OHV's central location and destination-based demand. Finally, for workers, OHV has created a more vibrant and inclusive environment, shifting Holland Village from its historically expat-oriented identity to a more diverse social mix. Compared to a typical office district, it offers a more relaxed and leisure-oriented setting with open plazas, outdoor seating, and varied food options that improve the daily work experience. It has also brought more tenants and jobs, but these benefits may not be shared equally, as rising costs can make the area less affordable for lower-wage workers.
For residents, socially, there is a risk of losing Holland Village's unique enclave identity due to increasing commercialization. However, spatially, they benefit from greater convenience due to work, live, play integration. Economically, while property value rises, this also brings a higher cost of living. From the investor perspective, the outlook is largely positive. Socially, there are some key risks to consider. However, spatially, the development supports strong repeat visitation and residential stickiness, which helps sustain long-term demand. Economically, investors benefit from stronger capital appreciation and pricing power, along with stable rental income potential. From developers' perspective, the project presents both opportunities and responsibilities. Socially, developers take on responsibility in shaping how the space is used. Spatially, placemaking becomes a core business model, creating an engaging environment that attracts users. Economically, mixed-use development enables multiple revenue streams within a single project, while faster capital recovery and lower inventory risk improves financial resilience. Moving on to the government, specifically URA, as a mixed-use development, OHV introduces new retail, dining, and offices spaces, which increases economic activity and attracts investment. However, this also leads to uneven outcomes. Because OHV is a large integrated development, it draws footfall into itself, resulting in limited spillover to surrounding businesses. At the same time, increased demand raises rents and reduces affordability. This affects URA because it must manage the uneven distribution of economic benefits. From a spatial perspective, OHV's pedestrian-friendly design and open public spaces improves walkability and user experience. From a social perspective, OHV more upscale positioning increases attractiveness and demand. This raises rents, contributing to the displacement of long-standing businesses. Overall, OHV does achieve key planning objectives, but it also creates uneven outcomes and trade-offs, which URA must actively manage. First, investors and developments benefit the most from the OHV master plan because the project was designed as a mixed-use, high-value destination. It brings together homes, retail, dining, offices, and community space, which means higher and more diverse income streams. Market responses has been also strong. 237 out of 296 residential units were sold, and the rental component reached 82% expected occupancy earlier on, showing strong confidence and lower vacancy risk. OHV also benefits from premium positioning in District 10 strong MRT connectivity, and a retail environment with about 208,333 monthly visitors, which strengthens the tenant sales.
Second, customers also benefit significantly because OHV improves both experience and convenience. Its village-style, opening design creates a stronger sense of place, while the 530 square meter village square supports events, gatherings, and social interaction. OHV also offers about 13,500 square meters of retail space, giving customers a wide mix of dining, shopping, and lifestyle choices. On top of that, the development is pet-friendly, naturally ventilated, and only a 3-minute walk from Holland Village MRT, making it more inclusive, walkable, and convenient than a typical mall. So for customers, OHV offers better comfort, a stronger community feel, more choice, and easy access in one place. On the other hand, residents of Holland Village lose their traditional village atmosphere, with their local heritage shop culture being replaced by a more curated, commercialized environment. Increased visitor traffic may reduce residential tranquility and increase noise, reducing overall residential comfort and worsening quality of life for residents. Rising property values increase rising rental pressure for tenants, and higher rental costs are passed down from businesses as higher prices, making Holland Village less affordable than it was in the past. Small businesses also face disadvantages through higher rental costs and may struggle to remain viable, potentially leading to closures as they lack the financial resilience and economies of scale enjoyed by larger chain retailers. They suffer from lower footfall as shoppers who patronize Holland Village for its unique charm and cluster of local heritage shops are less likely to return, as OHV dilutes the area's character with chain retailers like BreadTalk and Starbucks. The strong sense of community among shop owners is eroded as local heritage businesses close, creating a ripple effect that discourages remaining owners and reduces their willingness to stay. Next, we'll look at some trade-offs. First, vibrancy versus affordability. OHV's mixed-use concept and curated retail mix have successfully increased footfall and strengthened its positioning as a lifestyle destination. This benefits developers and investors through higher rents and property values. However, this increased attractiveness also leads to rising costs in the area. Retail spaces and housing may become less affordable for small local businesses and long-time residents, gradually shifting the area towards higher income groups and creating risk of gentrification. Second, land value maximization versus local identity. From a development perspective, OHV optimizes land use through a high-density integrated design that generates multiple revenue streams and enhances long-term asset value. While this is financially efficient, it may come at the cost of Holland Village original charm. This introduction of more upscale and branded tenants can replace independent businesses, potentially diluting the unique laid-back character that the area was previously known for. Lastly, place activation versus livability. The integration of a residential, retail, and public space creates a vibrant and active environment throughout the day. This improves convenience, accessibility, and overall user experience for visitors and newer residents. However, higher activity levels can also lead to issues such as noise, congestion, and overcrowding.
Our first solution involves a loyalty program for the entire Holland Village. Effectively, we are encouraging consumers to revisit Holland Village through the 3 major zones: OHV, Lorong Mambong, and Chitli Gardens. At each location, they can spend at participating stores and scan their QR code to complete tasks and collect points. Through this, they can then claim some discount or some small gifts at participating stores, encouraging revisits. This benefits many stakeholders by increasing the engagement between them. Firstly, for small businesses, they get increased visibility through their combined offerings and complementary products. Secondly, we propose that for OHV, they stand to gain by improving the sustainability of long-term customers by providing complementary services to the other areas. For example, they provide more commercialized food establishments compared to the bars at Lorong Mambong. This can attract customers to visit them as a gateway to the wider Holland Village. For customers and nearby residents, frequent purchases and visits allow them to complete tasks and gain points for tangible rewards. This allows them to choose from a wide selection of stores to claim points from, slightly offsetting the cost of living. Lastly, for asset managers, the preservation of Holland Village's diversity and vibrancy can bring them the long-term benefit of unlocking the value and heritage of the entire area, incentivizing customers to revisit the balanced and engaged environment.
This action is meaningful for 3 main reasons. Firstly, it directly addresses the issue of activity being concentrated within OHV by incentivizing visitors to explore the wider Holland Village area, rather than relying on passive spillover.
Secondly, it strengthens overall vibrancy. By encouraging visitors to move across different zones, it increases footfall, dwell time, and repeat visits, which supports Holland Village as a cohesive lifestyle destination rather than a fragmented one. Finally, the use of tiered rewards and a time-based system drives long-term behavioral change. Instead of one-off visits, customers are encouraged to return and gradually explore the area, which builds sustained demand and improves the resilience of the precinct over time. This proposal is highly feasible for three main reasons. Firstly, it has a low implementation cost. The program uses a simple QR-based system, which is already widely adopted in retail and F&B environments, so it requires minimal infrastructure and is easy to implement. Secondly, it falls within the control of the asset manager. OHV can coordinate the program design, marketing, and partnerships. Furthermore, businesses are incentivized to participate because they benefit from increased footfall and customer acquisition. And finally, the program is scalable and low risk. It can be piloted on a small scale first and then expanded or refined based on performance and feedback, allowing the asset manager to minimize risk while optimizing effectiveness. However, the proposal does involve potential risks that need to be managed. Firstly, in the short term, some spending may be redirected away from OHV as customers explore surrounding businesses. However, this risk is moderated as spending within OHV remains necessary to unlock rewards, while repeat visits help sustain overall demand across the entire precinct. Secondly, participation may be uneven, especially among smaller businesses with tighter costs or operational constraints. However, this is managed by allowing flexible incentives so businesses can offer rewards that remain affordable for them. And thirdly, there are concerns about the cost of providing rewards, particularly in terms of who bears the cost and whether it is worthwhile. This is addressed as businesses fund their own vouchers and can choose how they structure them, allowing them to ensure that the additional revenue from increased customer traffic outweighs the cost of rewards. And finally, engagement may decline over time if users lose interest, but this is mitigated through a simple and intuitive design, with tiered rewards and choice-based rewards to sustain participation.
Our second solution is to introduce local heritage pop-up booths in One Holland Village's public spaces, especially Village Square and the main pedestrian connectors. These booths will not be random pop-ups. Instead, they will be curated to showcase traditional local desserts and snacks, Singapore-made pantry or gift items, and heritage-inspired craft and lifestyle products. The key idea is to make heritage visible and easy to engage with through a rotating format, while keeping the program fresh through weekend markets, performances, food showcases, and heritage trails. We will start with small, about 6 to 8 booths, so the owner can test demand before scaling. The benefits are broad. For customers and residents, the activation of space increases community engagement and gives a wider variety of options to support these booths. For local businesses, they offer an opportunity to access the existing OHV crowd with no long-term commitment. For developers and owners, the booths activate common areas, strengthen OHV's brand and support tenant performances. And for the wider precinct, the booths can encourage spillover if linked back to surrounding streets and stores. Moving on, our solution is meaningful because it makes OHV feel more active, local and culturally rooted. Rather than becoming only a premium but generic open space, the public realm becomes a place where people can interact with local culture in a more casual and accessible way. This also fits OHV's original planning intent. The development was designed to respect Holland Village's low-rise, street-oriented character, with streets flowing into the site and a pedestrian-friendly public realm. The 530 square meter Village Square already acts as a central focal point for gatherings and performances, so the booths are built on a space that was meant for community use in the first place. It is also feasible from the asset manager's perspective. The program can be implemented after completion through short-term licensing, curation, marketing, and programming, without major development costs. OHV already has the physical conditions to support this, including a strong public space, a naturally ventilated and pet-friendly format, and an existing visitor base. One Holland Village draws about 200,333 average monthly visitors, so this proposal enhances an active destination rather than creating a demand from zero. A similar precedent is Maker's Market at I12 Katong, which shows that rotating booth concepts can work in a lifestyle precinct with a strong local identity. There are risks, of course. Too many booths can cause congestion. OHV could absorb even more spending from nearby businesses. Permanent tenants may view the booths as competition, and stronger branding could eventually add to price pressure. However, our proposals overall help OHV stay vibrant, distinctive, and community-centered, while creating practical value for both the asset manager and the wider Holland Village precinct. Thank you.